Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're taking a professional chef's approach to what is honestly a truly fascinating culinary challenge. We are going to look at the exact art of transforming notoriously strong-smelling, intensely pungent ingredients into a beautifully mellow, balanced culinary masterpiece. We're going to deconstruct a highly specific stir-fry technique that takes the absolute boldest flavors in the kitchen and turns them into something deeply comforting.
Okay, so you might be wondering, how does that even work? Let's dive right into this culinary paradox. If you take three ingredients known for their aggressive, lingering aromas, your first instinct is probably that combining them is just going to create this overpowering, chaotic mess. But, that is exactly where the magic of professional technique comes in. We're going to uncover how a master chef uses heat, timing, and sequence to mellow out these bold flavors, basically weaving them together rather than letting them fight for dominance in the pan.
But before we start cooking, we absolutely have to understand our subject. This dish is called Pad Sam Hom, which translates directly to stir-fried three fragrance. Though, let's be real, some people affectionately refer to it as the three stinks. It's a dish whose very name celebrates its intensely aromatic, proudly pungent nature. In fact, its reputation is so legendary that it's playfully guaranteed to send its scent drifting 7 or 8 houses down the street. So yeah, you might literally want to warn your neighbors before you fire up the stove for this one.
All right, let's get into Act 1, the texture foundation. Here's the secret to tender shrimp.
We've got to address the absolute biggest mistake home cooks make when preparing seafood in a complex stir-fry. The amateur approach, tossing the shrimp into the wok and just leaving it there while you add all the other ingredients. We've all done it, right? But this completely overexposes it to the heat and gives you rubbery, hard meat. Nobody wants that. So, the professional chef's secret is this. We add the shrimp to the hot pan first, par cook it just until it is barely done, and then immediately pull it out. As it sits on the sidelines, gentle carryover cooking happens, and that is what locks in that snappy, tender, succulent bite for the final dish. It's a total game changer.
Moving right along to Act 2, the three heroes. It's time to meet the fragrant stars.
Every great stir-fry needs a runway to take off from. So, with our shrimp resting safely out of the pan, we start building our flavor profile by dropping minced garlic right into the oil. We fry this until it hits that perfect golden state. This doesn't just flavor the oil, it lays down this absolutely crucial, savory, aromatic foundation that's going to support the heavy-hitting ingredients that are coming up next.
And that brings us to our three fragrance. These are the absolute heroes of our dish. First up, we have Sator, or stink beans, famous for their sharp bite. Then, pickled solo garlic, which brings this really pungent tang. And finally, chom, or acacia leaves, which carry a deeply earthy, almost sulfuric aroma. Now, here is the secret. Adding these raw, highly pungent heroes directly into that hot garlic-infused oil is the critical mellowing step. The intense heat of the wok immediately starts to temper their aggressive bite, and it essentially coaxes their essential oils out into a harmonious, savory blend rather than a harsh clash. It completely transforms them.
Which leads us perfectly into Act 3, the mellowing agents. Let's talk about building the mellow sauce.
Okay, so with our aromatics blooming beautifully in the wok, we introduce our binding carbohydrates, glass noodles. You have some flexibility here. You can use fresh glass noodles or dried ones that you've briefly soaked in water. But why glass noodles specifically? Well, because they act as the ultimate culinary flavor sponges. They are quite literally designed to soak up every single drop of those complex, savory oils and the sauce we are just about to build, carrying all those mellowed flavors into every single bite.
Now, to coat those noodles, we execute a rapid-fire seasoning process. It's a very precise layering of sweet, salty, and umami notes right there in the pan. We start with a savory punch of fish sauce, follow it with a distinct depth of green cap seasoning sauce, add just a touch of sugar for essential balance, a dash of ground pepper for warmth, and finish the whole thing off with rich oyster sauce. By rapidly mixing these 5 essential seasonings directly into the noodles, we ensure that the intense flavors of our three heroes are wrapped in this perfectly balanced, deeply savory glaze.
Once our magnificent sauce is bubbling away and thoroughly coating every single strand of those glass noodles, it's reunion time. We bring our rested, succulent, perfectly par-cooked shrimp back into the mix. Remember, because they were resting, they haven't lost their texture. Now they just need a really brief toss to warm through and get coated in that incredible three-fragrance sauce for the grand finale.
And finally, Act 4, the final egg bind. This is a masterclass in heat manipulation and timing.
Think about it. All our ingredients are in the pan, beautifully seasoned, but they need something to really pull them all together. So we crank the heat up to absolute maximum and drop in exactly 2 eggs. We don't pre-beat them in a bowl or anything, we crack them directly into the roaring hot wok. These eggs serve as the ultimate binding agent, catching all the loose flavors and clinging right to our noodles and fragrant greens.
And here, right at the very end, is where you get to play Master Chef. This specific technique empowers you to choose your perfect final texture. Check this out. If you wait for the egg to set just a bit before tossing, you'll create these distinct, fluffy sheets of egg interspersed throughout the whole dish. But actually, if you stir the egg immediately upon hitting that hot pan, it creates a rich, creamy coating over the noodles, the shrimp, and the 3 fragrants. It just goes to show that true chef-level cooking isn't just about the ingredients you use, it is absolutely about highly intentional timing at the very end of the stir-fry.
So, we've successfully decoded the secrets of Pad Sam Hom. By actively managing the texture of our protein, utilizing hot oil to temper intensely pungent ingredients, and using glass noodles and egg to bind the whole shebang together in a balanced umami sauce, we've transformed the intimidating into the truly incredible. It leaves you with just one question, really. Armed with these professional techniques, when are you firing up the wok to master these bold aromas in your own kitchen?